Hi everyone, welcome to Stars and Pearls. I'm so happy that you found your way here. I hope you click like, subscribe, and share, and that you drop a comment in the comment section below. So this video is on the moon in Scorpio and the messages that I received for you and for the collective during this time. So I will share that with you. I'll do a collective card reading. And I'll try every time I say I'm going to do something on a regular, something happens. Last time I said it and I got sick. So I'll try to do this on a regular and in addition to some other more, fun videos. But in any case, let's get started. The moon in Scorpio is coming up on the 29th of February, and it's going to leave that sign on March 2nd and move into Sagittarius. So what's the message that this moon and Scorpio energy is bringing us? And so I tapped into it and just tapped into the energies of Scorpio and the moon, which represents our emotional, our collective emotional field, our collective emotional consciousness, awareness that is moving through this atmosphere of Scorpio and what it has to say. So the first message that came up was around work. We're going to feel more engaged to work. We're going to want to put in the effort. We're going to put in some elbow grease into things. We're going to try to make things work that maybe shouldn't, but we're going to try to make it work. So there's a lot around that topic. So this is a time where people are going to invest more into their work. They're going to be working more, thinking about work more, doing more for work. You may be working overtime these days, but it feels like work is one of the main things. So you can see my notes right here, okay, before I do the card reading. Then the next thing that came up for me was grit, like really digging your heels in, digging into the energies, but also looking backward over things. I felt the energy kind of reflecting on the past, on what just happened, what went on, and people having the choice of turning into a pillar of salt, so losing themselves in grief or bitterness, becoming bitter, or going even deeper than that and really still needing revenge. And there's a little bit on that revenge thing. I felt a dip in the energy overall, so that the energy just generally kind of goes lower. It's not like this high vibe, super bright, extroverted, Leo type energy. This is a time where people are going to be naturally more introverted, reclusive, but also unashamed. So, there will still be this a little bit of extroversion, but for the most part, it feels like the collective is just going to move through these couple of days with a more introverted feel. Now, back to the revenge and looking back in the pillar of salt and all that. And it just, the tag words that came up were feeling a sense of having no closure. And having this no closure, it leads us to feel unfulfilled and uncertain, which leads us to a need for justice or balance, which is actually impossible because this need for, if justice were to actually occur in a way that would give us a sense of closure, it would conflict with our desire for peace and our desire to elevate ourselves above the situation, to transcend the situation. So that leaves us in this dilemma. It's a moral dilemma, collective dilemma. And so what the energy is going to lead us to do is to try to cut all ties with everything and just say, you know what, I don't care about it. It's over, it's done. I don't care. I really don't care. And so there may be the temptation for some of you to run or to leave something behind, to cut ties to someone or something, clear the table, assert that you don't care in order to move forward. So the advice here is to sit with it and to allow the discomfort. So if you're feeling uncomfortable over the next 2 days for whatever reason, just don't be afraid to sit with it and allow the discomfort. You don't have to change anything. You can just sit in this uncomfortable feeling. You will survive, I promise you. And you can breathe. You can allow it to naturally evolve and change and see what comes up after that or next. But one of the main lessons here is that learn not to fix everything. Part of the problems in most of our lives is that we have this tendency to want to identify a problem and fix things. And so our mind and our brain have been trained through our educational systems as well, but also through our cultural systems to see things as imperfect all the time, consistently, all the time. Nothing is ever good enough. Nothing is ever perfect as is. Everything could be better. Our work could be better. We could be better. Everybody else could be better. And all our lives has become like this super project. And it just never ends because we're never allowed to say that something is good. And so we're never allowed to say, like, stop. We're never allowed to say that we're done. We're never allowed to say that something is okay as is. But one of the ways that shamans protect themselves when they go into darker territories is that they clearly state the intention before moving into this darkness or these darker worlds. We're not here to fix anything. We're not here to change anything. And we learn to become simply observers, whether within or without. We learn to just observe the process because everything is always changing and growing. Like nothing just sits there. And even rocks and mountains over time change, right? So shamans move into this observational viewpoint where they just say, I'm just the observer. I'm not here to change anything. I don't want to change you. I don't want to fix this. I don't want to fix that. And they can observe the dark. They can observe something that is yeah, that most people would want to fix and say it has its justification to exist, right? So, because the minute we want to fix something, the minute we go in there and we start messing around and pushing, it's going to push back. It's going to be like, whoa, boundaries, overstep. And it's going to be like, no, you know? So, we don't want that pushback, right? Sometimes, depending on what you're working with. And sometimes you honestly just need to, people just need to, or all of us need to relax a little bit and realize that we don't have to fix everything. Sometimes, as I said with the other video of the with the fireplace, the solution is just in encountering the problem, is just in allowing the problem and stepping into it, into the feeling, allowing that feeling to arise. We don't have to take our feelings and our emotions ultra personally, that this is now an identifier of who we are and it's stuck with us forever. We can see it as a landscape that we're passing through. We don't have to project these feelings or emotions onto other people either. We can just experience them. They are always justified. There's always a reason why you're feeling what you're feeling. And those are messages meant for you, not for everybody else. So you can allow these feelings and just see what arises, see what comes up, see what comes up as a result of you just sitting with them and allowing them to be. You can move into more difficult spaces and say, you know what, I don't need to fix this. It's neither it's no longer, sorry, an either or world or universe that I inhabit. I inhabit a universe of and also, where opposites can exist, where things that don't fit together can exist, where there's all kinds of variations of being. And it has to be an and also in order to include all possibilities. So you can use these 2 days that we're going to be moving through the fog a little bit, of going deeper or wanting to go deeper into things. That's another energy that may be coming up, is the need to dive deeper into your emotional space, into your experiential space, and sink to the bottom of something, get to the bottom of something. That is very scorpionic. Now, this is also a time where people may be lashing out. They may be feeling injustices a little bit more than usual. They may be having a harder time or taking things more to heart than they usually would. So be very mindful, walk carefully, tread lightly. Don't try to fix everything. Just be the observer. All right, let's see what's coming up with the cards for this moon in Scorpio. And let's see here. Don't forget to sign up, you guys, for the Where Do You Belong? It's a free webinar, absolutely free. And we're discussing the topic of that feeling and sense of belonging. Where do you belong? Where, will you find a sense of peace and home? What constitutes a sense of belonging? What do we need? Why is a sense of belonging important? What is it underlying, and more? Okay. So let's see. Scorpio, please. The moon in Scorpio from February 29th until March 2nd. The collective message, the moon in Scorpio. The moon in Scorpio. The moon in Scorpio. Yeah. The overall energy, like I said, there's going to be like a dip in energy a little bit. We've got the moon card, which is showing up. Yes, we are talking about the moon, but the moon in particular has to do with the energies of fear, but not just fear, but anxiety, trepidation, anticipation in a negative. Has to do with lunacy, of course, not seeing things really the way they are, but focusing on what you think they are, but not what they necessarily truly are. So there's that. It's going to inspire people to, again, lash out, stand up for themselves, defend their illusions, defend what they believe to be true. And pride goes before a fall. So these are days to step lightly, very, very lightly in your dealings with people, and take things with a grain of salt, whatever comes your way. Okay, the overall energy, just keep going. This is the Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is also this is my narcissist card, by the way, for those of you that don't know. It's a very well shielded personality, absolutely shielded up, focused on the material, focused only on external things, focused on their rhythm of doing things and doing things the way they want and keeping it like a train that you can't stop. And they can be very self-centered, selfish, if that's but on the flip side, if it's not the narcissist, this is someone who's very loyal, who's very steady, who can be a little bit boring, who's doing the same things over and over again. This is a card of work, and that's what I was talking about in the beginning. The first thing that popped up for me was the energy of work around these days is going to be intense, and for some of you guys, it's going to be a couple of days where you're investing a lot into the work that you do. You're going to be focusing on your career, you're going to be focusing on getting things just so, you're going to be focused on investing into your business if you have one, putting in the work in the gym, putting in the time, but it's something that's going to be something routine. This is something intended to set the stage for something bigger or lay the groundwork for something more later on. You may be dealing also with someone who's very intense during these days at your place of work, or because of your work. This is someone who's really intensely focused on results, intensely focused on getting things done, intensely focused on productivity, on drive, on ambition, inspiration, motivation. This is someone who is really pushy almost. And so it might be a lot for you. So again, deep breath in, deep breath out, but it might also be you. So if this is you, it's okay to take things a little bit slower, one step at a time. Remember that any environment that you get into, sometimes you change it just by being there and being the one holding the awareness. You don't have to actively make changes in order for something to change. You don't have to get in there and start stirring the pot and make it happen. Sometimes it just does its thing. So this is not a time of rest, okay? This is the Four of Swords. This is in the knot position. And so it's not a time of rest. It's not a time of recuperation, even though things may be going quieter a little bit deeper. It's not that time. It's a time of discernment. And the Four of Cups has to do with an internal attitude and mindset of rejection. And the outcome is that's what I said, clearing the table, trying to cut ties with the past, moving on your own way. So this is the Chariot. You'll be tempted to, reject something with the Four of Cups, say, sorry, can't, don't want it, can't do it, and then go on your merry way. There's this, what is the price of freedom? That's what's coming up for me in relation to these cards. What's the price of freedom, right? So some of you are going to pay that price. And others of you are going to be thinking about it, wishing for it, hoping for it, but it's just not too feasible right now. But it's a topic that's coming up on the table. So the advice card is to go your own way, the Fool, to be willing to start absolutely fresh, to utilize the energies of this time and just step into something completely different from what you've done before. It's inspiring to go on a new adventure, go on a new journey, to trust life and trust yourself again, because here we also see in these two cards, the overthinkers, right? The Four of Swords and the Four of Cups. And so he's closing off his feeling center, as you can see, and kind of overthinking here, and has lost the connection to the divine, which is actually leading the way, which is actually guiding the way here, which is the way itself. So what I'm feeling coming up with these cards is these cards have simply reiterated what I was saying in the beginning about the general energies for the collective, for the moon in Scorpio from Feb 29th to March 2nd. And that is, it's going to be a time where people are going to rather be independent than choke to something that is stealing their life force energy, where they're going to be focusing on putting in the effort and the work and the drive, a little bit of unhappiness, a little bit more of consistency, however, and trying to figure out how to move forward without changing anything about things that make you uncomfortable, right? And learning to trust again that they're going to reveal or they're going to grow or they're going to develop into something more beautiful for you. So whatever decisions or choices you have to make them based on trust in something good and something higher. Make them based on that feeling of trust that everything is in divine order and things will work out for you. So, but again, you don't have to do anything. You can just sit with the discomfort, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Nothing's going to happen to you, and see what that discomfort then reveals. Because we have to remember that these uncomfortable emotions and states of being occasionally are messengers. They have messages for you. So if you cut them off too early, you don't get the message, which can be something that is really valuable, which is what this Knight of Pentacles works for, is values and principles. So values and principles on the table again as well. All right, you guys, that was the Moon and Scorpio video, and thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you guys on March 1st at the webinar for Where Do You Belong? And I'll see you soon for the video with the Moon and Sagittarius. Take care. Bye.